Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody today? Hope you're doing well. How is quarantine affecting you? It's not really affecting me so much because it's super hot, and this time of year, if I stay outside in the garden too much, my skin gets sore because of heat rash and just sweating too much. So I'll come out in the early morning, maybe for an hour, and then go back in the house and just put the AC on and fart around in the house. I had a project to do. The friend who owns the apartments has some curtain rails. The ones where you can pull a cord and the curtains come together in the middle, or you pull the other side and it opens the curtains. Well, the cord on one of them broke, and the cord on the other one was all frayed. So I was asked, can you restring this, put a different rope in it to make it work? I'm like, I guess I can. Well, I looked at it and it looked simple enough. So first time I did it, it didn't work. Then I realized that I had to change the string to go through the top, so that when you pull it, it separates. Well, anyway, it took a while, but I figured it out, did one. And then the next one I did pretty fast, so it was okay. But that was my little bit of a mental puzzle today. So I kept my brain active for an hour, but that's done. And that's about all I've done. I've been just watching some music. There's I don't know if you ever heard of Nightwish. It's like a heavy rock group. I'm not normally into heavy rock, but it's a heavy rock group in, or not heavy, but maybe just rock group from Finland, and called Nightwish. And one of them, can't remember the name of the song, but I've left it on my Facebook page. Oh, Rising Sun, something like that. And I'll put it in here for you. But it's quite powerful. It's a lady singing it. She's got a very deep, strong voice, very powerful, and I like it a lot. It's quite cool. So I've been listening to that and some comedy. There's I found a lady in America, little cute sort of Asian looking lady, but from America, who does pranks on people. She's, all kinds of stuff. She's very brave for what she does, and makes me laugh. So I'm kind of trying to keep laughing and not take things too serious. But it doesn't really bother me too much about having to stay in, because it's too hot to be outside anyway. So at this time of year, it's the hot season. It'll cool down when the rain comes in 2 more months. So no big problems. But just come out in the garden and water a little bit and go back in. Come out in the garden, water a little bit, go back in. Come out and play with Sugar a little bit, and so she don't get too lonely. Because she tends not to go anywhere anymore. She just like hangs around all the time. When I come out, she'll sit with me, and that's about it. Funny character. My video on Friday, the last video I did, and the one before that, I was talking about looking after yourself and what you can live on here. And I got a little bit animated towards the end of the last one, because I was like, I get tired of listening to the same garbage all the time about how people can afford to live and you can't live. I'm the kind of person that you ask a question, you get a couple opinions, you form your own opinion and move on. You don't need to talk about the same stuff. I've been here almost 8 years, and there are people still talking about the same stuff. Can't live on this, can't do this, can't do that. Dude. Which suggests to me that people are stuck and never going to grow. Never. Because if you're talking about the same stuff over and over and over and over again, nobody's making a decision and moving along. So, what I said my piece on Friday, and I got a couple, I actually got a lot of really nice comments. One person said that you know, he's talking about British people, about how they can't, you know, British people were during the war and the British Empire and so on. But what happened to the people, you know, in Britain today? I don't know, you know, no idea. But I wouldn't limit it to Britain. I would say it's everywhere. Where you know what I can put it down to, I think, where people, you know, were like being herded into a way of thinking, and if you know anybody who watches watches what goes on, but you know, I'm not talking, you know, there's two parts, and I'm not talking about two political systems. I'm talking about information systems. So if you listen to the mainstream news, you're going to have an opinion, but if you listen to alternative news, you're going to have an alternative opinion. So, and then, you know, between it, you make your best judgment call. And I think this is my opinion, and I don't want to talk about it anymore after this, is that, you know, things weren't great before this bug came. So they're not going to be any greater when it's gone. The fact that they've told people they can't go to work and endless companies have had to shut down, you know, people are going to be, I heard this many times, that the average person in America, doesn't have enough money to live on. And if you have a $400 crisis that pops up out of the ordinary, that could cause you to sink if you're not careful. So, you know, I've always been the person who try to live well within my means and have some savings, and you know, I've always been that way, and I'm really pleased I have, because I have some savings, I have my pension, I live on a simple means and simple way of life. And I think, to me, that, you know, Maslow's theory of hierarchy says that, you know, the first thing that we need is water, which is true, food, second, shelter, and then after that, we're dealing with the emotions and so on, you know, about we need family and friends and so on, right? But the first thing you need to live every day is clean water. So if you have that, you're in, which many people in the world don't have. And after that is food. So here in the village, there's a lady who cooks my meal that I like, and I can say, out of every place I've been and ordered the same menu, you can find it cooked in many different ways. You know, you wonder sometimes, is this the same menu? But the lady in the village cooks it perfect. It's really tasty, and a lot. There's actually enough for 2 meals, for 2 people. So you buy 1 meal for 40 or 50 baht, whatever it is. And you can actually divide it in half. So if you think, you know, 2 big bottles of water, you could save 40 baht for the day. 50 baht for the big meal, which is actually 2 meals. That, you know, you might not like that, but you could order a different meal, and you could have half in the morning and a different half in the afternoon, and then whatever it is for your breakfast. So you're talking like, you know, less than 1,000 a day to live on, way less. So anyway, you could add on to that many other things, car insurance and whatever it is, but in a survival situation, you need water, food, and shelter. So if you can't live here on that, you'll never live on it in America or Britain, because Britain is very expensive. So you know, I've been planning my survival strategy for years and years, and here I am, and I think, looking back, I've made the right decisions. And the reason I say this is not to say that how great Kevin is, but to say, you know, think about what's coming, and have you got food, and where's your food source, and things like that. So